Hey everyone, welcome back. What's going on? Welcome to today's live stream. I am so pumped that you're here. Whether you're a long-time subscriber or this is your very first time catching one of my streams, you are in for an absolute treat today. We've got some massive breaking news that's shaking up the market right now, and I mean massive. We're talking about developments that could seriously impact your portfolio, your investment strategy, and potentially put some serious money in your pocket if you play this right. Before we dive in, and trust me, you're gonna want to hear every single word of what I'm about to share. Do me a huge favor, please, guys. Hit that subscribe button right now. Seriously, just click it, it's free. It takes 2 seconds and it's going to change the game for your investing journey. We're building an incredible community here of Start. Savvy investors who understand that making money in the stock market isn't about complicated Wall Street jargon or needing a finance degree. It's about understanding the stories behind the headlines and knowing how to turn news into actionable investment strategies. That's exactly what we do here. Break down complex market events into simple, plain language that actually makes sense. No confusing terminology, no boring lectures, just a real talk about real money and how you can grow your wealth through US stocks, even if you're a complete beginner. It doesn't matter. So buckle up, grab your coffee or whatever you're drinking, get comfortable, and let's dive in some absolutely wild developments that went down in the last 24 hours. We're talking about a political reconciliation that nobody saw coming, a target loss that brought powerful people together, and what it all means for stocks like Tesla and the broader market. This is going to be good, so let's get into it. Alright, so let me tell you something about something absolutely wild that went down yesterday, and honestly, it's got the potential to create some serious waves in the stock market. We need to talk about this because understanding how these kind of events affect your investments is super important. Here's what happened yesterday afternoon. We're talking September 21st, 2025, right around 2:15 p.m. in the afternoon Eastern Time. Elon Musk posted something pretty intense on X. Now let me show you the post. Just 1 second, guys. Alrighty, here we go. Yeah, X is a social media platform Elon Musk owns. Now you know Elon never does anything quietly, right? The guy drops a message that basically says someone named Charlie was killed by dark forces because he was trying to enlighten people and spread the truth. Heavy stuff, right? So who's this Charlie we're talking about? This is Charlie Kirk. And if you've been following political commentary at all over the past few years, You've probably heard this name. He is the founder of this massive organization called Turning Point USA. I'm gonna show you. Turning Point USA, which has been hugely influential in conservative politics, especially with younger audiences. The guy's been super vocal about issues like freedom of speech, political engagement, and what he calls traditional American values. Now, there are reports circulating that he's died under what people are calling suspicious circumstances. Suspicious circumstances, and Elon's post is suggesting pretty clearly, actually, that, that there might have been some kind of conspiracy involved. Like powerful people who didn't want him exposing certain information. Now, before we go any further, let me remind you again, if you're finding this valuable, hit subscribe. We're gonna talk about exactly how events like this connect to your wallet and your portfolio. So why am I opening today's stream with what seems like a political story? Here's the thing about investing in US stock that a lot of beginners don't realize at first. The stock market doesn't exist in a vacuum. It's not just numbers on a screen going up and down randomly. Everything is connected. Political events, social movements, major news stories, they all flow into how markets behave. And when you've got someone as influential as Elon Musk making bold statements about controversial topics, it creates what we call market moving news. Let me paint the picture for you. When Elon tweets or posts on X, I guess we should say now millions of people see it within minutes. Financial news outlets pick it up. Investors start discussing it, and all of that conversation can translate directly into buying and selling decisions. We've seen this pattern over and over again. Remember when Elon tweeted about Bitcoin? Remember that? The price went absolutely crazy. Or when he's made comments about Tesla's production numbers, or even just posted memes about the stock market. Shares can jump or drop by billions or millions of dollars in market value based on what this guy says. So when he makes a statement like this, something politically charged about a controversial death, it gets people thinking about bigger issues. Could there be political instability coming? Are we heading toward more division and conflict in the country? What does that mean for business confidence, for consumer spending, for tech companies that might face increased scrutiny or regulation? Now, for those of you who are newer to investing, let me break down what I mean by volatility, because you're gonna hear that word a lot if you stick with investing. Volatility is basically how much and how quickly a stock price moves around. Imagine you're on a road trip. A low volatility stock is like cruising down the smooth highway, pretty steady, maybe some gentle hills, but high volatility stock is like a crazy mountain road with sharp turns, sudden drops, and steep climbs. Both can get you to your destination, but one is definitely a wild ride. When unexpected news hits, especially something as dramatic as what we're discussing today, it tends to create more volatility. Here's what typically happens. Some investors get nervous and start selling their positions because they are worried about what might come next. Other investors see opportunity and start buying because they think the market is overreacting. All this activity creates those big price swings we're talking about. And it's not just the individual stocks that can be affected. We're talking about entire market indexes. If you're new here, an index is basically like a big basket of stocks that gives you a snapshot of how a whole section of the market is doing. The most famous one is probably the S&P 500. Let me show you the S&P 500. Yeah, here we go. S&P 500 tracks 500 of the biggest companies in America. Everything from tech giants like Apple and Microsoft to retailers like Walmart, healthcare companies like Johnson & Johnson, you name it. When there's uncertainty in the air, we often see money flowing out of stocks and into what investors call safe havens, things like government bonds, gold, or even just sitting in cash. This is exactly why you need to stay subscribed to channels like this one. I'm here to help you understand these connections. So when the market gets choppy, you're not panicking. You are not panicking. You're you're prepared. Make sure you're subscribed because coming up, we're going to talk about specific strategies for handling market uncertainty. And I will even walk you through some beginner-friendly investment options that tend to hold up better when things get crazy out there. But here's what I want you to think about. Does hearing news like this make you want to run away from investing? Or does it make you more curious about understanding how it all works? So, guys, drop your thoughts in the comments and seriously subscribe if you haven't already. We're building a community of smart investors here and I want you to be part of it. Let's keep going because there's so much more to unpack here and trust me, you're gonna want to hear what's coming next. Alright folks, we're absolutely rolling now and if you're just tuning in, seriously, do yourself a favor and hit that subscribe button right at this second. I promise you, by the end of today's stream, you're gonna be so glad you're part of this community. You're part of this community. You will be so glad. We're tracking some absolutely massive developments that could seriously impact your investment strategy. And you don't want to miss a single update. So buckle up because we've got breaking news that just came through early this morning. I mean early, like a crack of dawn early. Now let me show you. So let's check this short video.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Secretary TSLA.
So the short video we just saw, we're talking about like at 4:51 a.m. Eastern Time on September 22nd, which is today, 2025. The news, it is the President Donald Trump and Elon Musk was spotted publicly making peace with each other. Now let's check out this one. Yeah, you've heard it and you have seen the news. Those two giants actually shook hands and had what looked like a friendly conversation at Charlie Kirk's memorial service yesterday in Arizona. Now, why is this such a massive deal? Well, let me give you some context here. These two haven't been seen together publicly, in a friendly way, since things totally fell apart between them back in June. We're talking some pretty nasty public disagreements, social media posters going back and forth, the whole 9 yards. It was like watching a heavyweight championship fight, except instead of boxing gloves, they were using Twitter or X, whatever we're calling it right now. But here they are coming together at this incredibly emotional event. Charlie Kirk's memorial service is obviously a somber, serious occasion. Thousands of people showed up to honor this guy, who made such a huge impact, mobilizing young conservative voices across America. And right in the middle of all that grief and remembrance, you've got those two massive personalities, the President of the United States and arguably the world's most influential entrepreneur, publicly burying the hatchet. It's a kind of moment that just stops everyone in their tracks. Let me set the scene for you because it's pretty dramatic. The venue is State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. That's a massive sport area. We're talking tens of thousands of seats. It's absolutely packed with people who came to pay their respects. President Trump gave a speech where he called Charlie Kirk is the American martyr, which gives you an idea of just how significant this event is politically. And then Elon shows up, they spot each other, and boom, handshake. A few exchange words, and the entire internet just explodes. I mean, within minutes, photos and videos are everywhere. People are analyzing every frame. Lip readers are trying to figure out what they're saying to each other, and the speculation is going absolutely wild. From what people can piece together, it seems pretty cordial. Maybe even hinting at work together again on some projects down the line. There's a footage of Elon Musk greeting other political figures there too, and when reporters asked Trump about it later, he played it down, just calling it a little conversation. But come on, right? We all know nothing's just a little conversation when you're talking about the president and Elon Musk. Some people are already calling it the band getting back together, and honestly, that energy is infectious. Before we dive deeper, have you subscribed yet, guys? No? What are you waiting for? This is exactly the kind of analyst you need to turn breaking news into smart investment decisions. Hit that button. Now, let's talk about why this matters for your portfolio and your future investments. Because this isn't just entertainment or political theater. This stuff has real, concrete effects on the stock market and especially on US stock that you might already own or be thinking about buying. Here's a concept I need you to understand the market sentiment. Guys, give me a second and I will type it down for you guys. Okay, so we're talking about the market sentiment, right? Market sentiment. This is absolutely crucial for any investor, beginner or experienced. Market sentiment is basically the overall mood or feeling that investors have about the economy and the stock market. Are people feeling confident and optimistic? Or are they nervous and scared? This collective emotion actually drives buying and selling decisions, which means it directly affects stock prices. When you've got positive developments like a powerful president and an innovative billionaire CEO publicly showing they're on the same page again, it can create this surge of optimism. Investors start thinking, hey, maybe this means more stability. Maybe this means better, the better future for business. Maybe this means better policies for business, for the stock market. Maybe this means more opportunities. And when investors feel good, they tend to buy more stocks, which pushes prices up. Let's get specific here because I want you to really understand how this works in practice. Think about Tesla, the ticker symbol TSLA. You're looking it up on any trading platform, but now let me show you I can show you it on the trading view, but currently right now let's just check it on this website, the Nasdaq. So Tesla is Elon's baby, right? The electric car company that's also doing solar panels, battery technology, and all sorts of innovative stuff. Back in June, when Trump and Musk were feuding publicly, Tesla stock took some real hits back in June. As you can see. Why? Because investors were worried. They was thinking, what if Trump's administration starts creating problems for electric vehicle companies? What if SpaceX loses government contracts because Elon and the president are not getting along? What if new regulations come down that hurt Tesla business? The fear translated directly into people selling their Tesla shares, which pushed the price down. But now, this handshake. Where's the handshake? Now, here we go. This handshake, this public reconciliation, it potentially changes everything. See that? Musk and Trump greet each other at Kirk Memorial. It suggests that maybe those worries were overblown. It was overblown. Those worries were overblown. Maybe we're going to see more cooperation between the government and companies like Tesla. Maybe there will be more support for green energy initiatives, for technological innovation, for space exploration through SpaceX. For those of you who are brand new to investing, let me explain something really practical here. When news like this breaks, especially early in the morning before the market officially opens, you can actually watch something called pre-market trading. The regular US stock market opens at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, but there's trading that happens before that. It usually starts around 4 a.m. This is when professional traders and institutional investors start reacting to overnight news by watching pre-market activity. Let me just type it down. So by watching the pre-market activity, you can get a sense of how the market is going to respond when the bell rings for regular trading. So if you're checking your brokerage app tomorrow morning, like today, right now, if you're you can do it from tomorrow. You can not pretty sure is this one of your habits, but if not, you can do it from tomorrow. You might see Tesla's price already moving upward before 9:30 a.m. So that's an early birds reacting to this news. And it's not just a Tesla. This kind of positive sentiment can lift entire market indexes. Let me break down what that means. You've probably heard of indexes like the Dow Jones or Nasdaq, right? Now let me show you the indexes, the three major indexes. The Nasdaq and the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones. So those are three really important indexes. Now Dow Jones tracks 30 really big established American companies. Think old school blue chips like Coca-Cola, Boeing, companies that have been around forever. The Nasdaq, on the other hand, is heavily on technology stocks. Companies like Magnificent Seven, like Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, and yes, Tesla. When there's positive news that makes people feel good about tech innovation and the government support for it, the Nasdaq tends to do really well. But here's something super important for beginners. And seriously, subscribe so keep getting these crucial tips. You can't just chase every piece of good news by dumping all your money into the stock. That's a recipe for disaster. This is where diversification comes in, and I cannot stress this enough. Never put all your eggs in just one basket. So, what does diversification mean in simple terms? It means spreading your money across different investments. Maybe you own some Tesla stock because you believe in electric vehicles, but you also own some healthcare stocks, some consumer goods companies, maybe some real estate investment trusts, perhaps some international stocks. That way, if one sector gets hammered by bad news or unexpected problems, your entire portfolio doesn't crash and burn. You've got a prediction because other investments might be doing fine or even thriving. Think of it like this. If you're planning a picnic, you don't just bring sandwiches, right? You bring sandwich, drinks, fruit, maybe some snacks, perhaps a dessert. If the sandwiches got soggy, you've still got plenty to eat. Some principle with investing, spread it around so you are protected. And listen, this reconciliation between Trump and Musk, it's exciting. It's very exciting. It could be great for certain stocks, but politics is unpredictable. These two could be best friends today and tomorrow. They are against each other, maybe not tomorrow, but like next month. That's why you need a solid strategy that doesn't depend on any single relationship or event going perfectly. This is exactly why you absolutely must subscribe to this channel. I am here every single day breaking down these complex situations and showing you how to position yourself smartly. Imagine being able to turn headline news like this into actual wealth building opportunities over time. That's what we're doing here together. So, this video and photos from this event are everywhere now. You've got crowds chanting "Let's go" in the background. People calling this a historic moment, talking about America coming together for something bigger. There's definitely this feel good energy around it. This sense that maybe we're moving past the division and into cooperation, and markets love that kind of optimism. So, here my question for everyone watching live right now. Drop it in the comments. Thank you guys. Does this news make you feel bullish on tech stocks? Remember, bullish is just investor speak for optimistic, for expecting prices to go up. Are you thinking this is a good time to look at companies in the technology sector, in green energy, in space exploration, or are you more cautious? Want to wait and see what actually comes out of this reconciliation? I really want to hear from you guys and make absolutely certain you are subscribed because tomorrow we're going to be watching the market's reaction in real time. Well, not just tomorrow, today we will also do it, and we will do it every day. Right before the market open, we will start our stream at 9 a.m. every day. We're going to look at which stocks are moving, which sectors are benefiting, and exactly how you can potentially position yourself to take advantage of these trends. This is going to be an absolutely wild trading session, and you're going to want to be right here with me, learning how to navigate it all. Stay tuned, folks. We've got so much more to cover, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. So the energy in here today is absolutely insane, and I'm loving energy. Second of it, thank you so much. Good morning. And can I buy calls on Tesla? Let's talk about that later. So if you just clicked into the stream, do me a huge favor right now, hit that subscribe button. Seriously, we're building something special here, breaking down all the market action in real time. No boring financial textbooks, no confusing corporate jargon, just a straight talk about US stocks that actually makes sense. Let's keep this momentum going, guys. Alright. So I am seeing a ton of comments flooding in, and there's one question that keeps popping up over and over again in my WhatsApp group. Someone's asking, wait, does that mean Elon's getting involved in US politics again? Because if he does, won't that make Tesla drop, TSLA drop? I'm worried about my investment. So, first off, thank you for asking. That's exactly the kind of critical thinking we need as investors. You are connecting the dots, you're looking ahead, you're not just taking headlines at face value. That's what separates smart investors from people who just follow the crowds blindly. So let's dig into this together, because when politics and investing collide, politics and investing, when they collide, things can get really messy really fast. but they can also create some incredible opportunities if you know how to read the situation. So, is Elon jumping back into the political world? Based on everything we're seeing right now, it's looking like a pretty strong possibility, folks. This wasn't just a quick handshake and hey, how are you situation. No, not like that. From the videos and reports coming out of Arizona, Trump and Elon were actually sitting together at Charlie Kirk's memorial service, like side by side. They were chatting, looking comfortable, and the crowd was going absolutely wild. People, people chanting, cheering. That whole electric atmosphere you get when something big is happening. The internet is absolutely exploding with people calling this full reconciliation. Like when your favorite band breaks up and then gets back together for a reunion tour. Remember, just a few months ago in June, these two were at each other's throats. They were at each other's throat. We're talking public arguments on X, disagreements over policy, the whole messy drama playing out for everyone to see. But this one, this feels planned. This feels deliberate. This is them making a very public statement that whatever beef they had is squashed. And here's the thing, Elon's already been weighing in on Charlie Kirk's death with that intense post about dark forces. Remember I just showed you guys that one? That's not just a casual commentary. No, definitely not the casual commentary. That's him, that's Elon Musk, diving into political narrative territory. And if you know anything about Elon's history, this guy cannot resist getting involved in big controversial issues. Free speech, he's all of it. Government regulations, he's got opinions for days. Elections and political movements, he's been there. Donated money, used his massive platform to push his views. So with Trump as president and this apparent reunion happening, what could this mean? Well, we could absolutely see Elon taking on some kind of advisory role on tech policy. Maybe he's pushing for specific AI regulations that benefit his companies. Maybe he's advocating for more government funding or for space exploration, which would obviously be great for SpaceX. I am already seeing verified accounts on social media talking about mega unity making a comeback, with Elon potentially becoming a key player in this administration's tech and innovation strategy. It's exciting, don't get me wrong, but yeah, that concern is totally valid. This could definitely pull him deeper into the political spotlight, and that comes with risks. Now let's tackle the big question. Will this absolutely destroy Tesla stock? Is TSLA about to take a nosedive? Look, the worry is completely justified, and here's why. Investors get really nervous when CEOs start mixing businesses with politics. It's like watching your favorite restaurant owner spend more time at city council meetings than actually running the restaurant. You start wondering if the food's going to suffer, right? Tesla stock. Again, that's TSLA if you're looking it up on the NASDAQ. As you can see on the screen, TSLA has a well-documented history of wild price swings based on Elon's activities outside the company. Let me give you the recent example that's super relevant. Back in June 2025, July 2025, Elon floated this idea about potentially starting a new political party called the America Party. You remember that, guys? So what happened? Tesla's shares dropped almost 8% in a single day. Now let me show you Tesla's chart on the trading view, alright? So let's switch to Tesla, TSLA. Now let me switch to the weekly chart. We're on the weekly chart of Tesla, and back in July, see that gap drop in July 2025. So why do they freak out? Well, think about it from a business perspective. Tesla's job is to build incredible electric vehicles, right? Push the boundaries of self-driving technology, expand battery production, open new factories, and basically revolutionize transportation, right? So when the Tesla CEO is spending more time and energy on political campaigns, giving speeches, getting into X wars with politicians, investors start worrying. They're thinking, is he distracted? Is this taken away from the core business? Are we going to miss production targets because he's too busy with political stuff? And here's something really interesting that you need to know. There were surveys done earlier this year, and get this. A whopping 85% of investors said they think Elon's political involvement is actually hurting Tesla. That's a massive number. 85% of the investors said Elon's political involvement is actually hurting Tesla. Many of them specifically called it a negative impact on both sales and the brand's image. Here's why it matters. Tesla sells electric vehicles, right? And who typically buys electric vehicles? Well, historically, it's been more liberal-leaning, environmentally conscious consumers, and especially in states like California, Washington, New York, places where people are really concerned about climate change and sustainability. But Elon has been increasingly vocal with right-wing political views, and that's created this weird tension. Some potential buyers who might have been excited about owning a Tesla are now hesitating because they don't want to feel like they're supporting someone whose politics disagree with. They disagree with the view. So analysts have pointed this out repeatedly. Even Tesla's board chair had to address it publicly, basically saying, look, Elon's political views are his own business, while trying to downplay any direct impact on sales. But come on, we all know that when your CEO becomes a polarizing political figure, it affects the brand whether you admitted it or not. In simple terms, for beginners, when Elon shows up at the political events or posts controversial political stuff, shareholders can panic. They worry about potential regulatory backlash from politicians who don't like him. They worry about organized boycotts from consumers. They worry about him just being too distracted to run the company effectively. And when shareholders panic, they sell. And when they sell, the stock price drops. That's just how it works. And this is a big but. Before you go panic selling all your Tesla shares, let's talk about the other side of this coin. Because here's the thing, if this reconciliation with Trump leads to actually favorable policies for Tesla and Elon's other companies, Tesla could absolutely skyrocket. Think about it, what if this friendship results in major tax breaks for green technology companies? What if autonomous vehicle regulations suddenly get easier to navigate because Elon's whispering in the president's ear? What if? What if there are massive government contracts flowing into SpaceX that create a positive spillover for Tesla's brand and technology development? We've seen Elon's political connections pay off before. SpaceX has scored billions in government contracts, and even though that's technically a separate company, it all fits into this ecosystem that makes Tesla look innovative and cutting edge. Good vibes for one Musk company can definitely boost confidence in the others. So for those of you who are newer to investing, this is what we call market sentiment in action. What's the meaning of the market sentiment? So market sentiment is basically the overall emotional mood of investors, and it's driven by news, headlines, and perceptions rather than just a cold hard financial numbers. Sometimes the sentiment is based on real concrete changes like new government politics. Other times, it's more about perception and what people think might happen. And right now, with this handshake still fresh in everyone's minds, we might see some short-term turbulence. Some investors might sell off because they're worried about a political distraction angle. The stock could dip for a bit as people process what this means. But long term, if this translates into real policy support for innovation, for electric vehicles, for space exploration, Tesla could actually end up in a much stronger position. The stock might not only recover but actually climb higher than before. Here's what I want you to watch. Keep your eyes on the Nasdaq tomorrow morning. Remember what I said earlier about pre-market trading? Well, I believe you all remember that. So that starts super early, around 4 a.m. Eastern Time. That's when you will see the first wave of reactions from professional traders and institutional investors. If the stock starts climbing in pre-market, that's a sign. That's a sign that big money thinks this is actually positive news. If it's dropping well, that tells you the opposite. Now let me give you some really practical advice if you're already holding Tesla stock or if you're thinking about buying some. There's some strategy called dollar cost averaging. Let me repeat that because this one is really useful and important. Maybe let me just type it down for you. Strategy. So it's called dollar cost averaging. All right. What does it mean? This strategy is absolutely perfect for situations like this where there's a lot of uncertainty and volatility. Here's how it works. Let me explain that for you. Instead of trying to time the market perfectly, like oh, I'm gonna wait until it hits the absolute bottom and then dump all my money in. Well, you invest a fixed amount of money at regular intervals, no matter what the price is doing. Maybe it's $100 every week or $500 every month, whatever works for your budget. Some weeks you will buy when the price is higher, some weeks when it's lower, but over time it all averages out. This this strategy protects you from the emotional roller coaster of trying to perfectly time your trades, which, let's be honest, is nearly impossible even for professionals. Here's another crucial piece of advice. Seriously, subscribe. Please subscribe. If you want more tips like this, you absolutely must diversify. Don't put all your money into Tesla just because it's exciting and in the headlines. Maybe you own some Tesla because you believe in electric vehicles and you think Elon's a genius. Fine, but also own some healthcare stocks, some consumer goods, maybe some banking stocks, perhaps some international companies. You could even look at ETFs. Those are exchange traded funds, basically baskets of stocks that give you instant diversification. For example, there's one called QQQ that tracks a bunch of tech-heavy companies on the Nasdaq. If you own QQQ, you get exposure to Tesla, but also to Apple, Amazon, Google, Microsoft, and a bunch of others. That way, if Tesla has a bad day because of political drama, maybe Amazon is having a great day because they just announced amazing earnings and it balances out, right? It balances out. See how that works? Politics adds this extra layer of unpredictability to investing. There's no way around it. But honestly, that's also what makes this whole game so thrilling. It's like a chess match where the pieces are constantly changing the rules. You've got to stay sharp, stay informed, and stay flexible. So here's my question for all of you watching. What's your take on this? Is this a buy the dip moment if Tesla stock drops? Like, is this a chance to scoop up shares at a discount before they bounce back? Or do you think it's smarter to just sit on the sidelines for a bit, wait and see how this all plays out? Maybe keep your money in cash or safer investments until the price gets clearer? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now. Drop your thoughts and let me know your thoughts in the chat. Thank you so much, guys. I want to hear from you, whether you're bullish, bearish, or just confused and trying to figure it all out. And listen, if this kind of detailed breakdown is getting you fired up, if you're learning something valuable here, and please hit that subscribe button. We're going to be following this story every single day as it develops. I will be here with more beginner-friendly strategies, helping you protect your portfolio while still finding opportunities to grow your wealth. Let's turn all this political drama into actual dollars in your account, folks. That's what we're here for. Stay tuned, guys, because we've got so much more coming up. And trust me, you're not going to want to miss a single minute of this wild ride. Hey folks, we are absolutely crushing it on today's stream. The comments are coming in hot, and I'm here for all of this energy. If you're getting value out of this real-time breakdown on how all this political drama connections to your actual investments, do me a huge favor, hit that subscribe button right now. It's completely free and it's going to keep you in the loop with all these beginner-friendly insights that could genuinely transform how you approach US stocks. Let's keep this momentum rolling because there's an incredible twist to this story that just emerged, and honestly, it's got me feeling all kinds of emotions. It's heartwarming, it's fascinating, and yeah, it's got some serious market implications too. Alright, so we will just dig into that viewer question about whether Elon's potential return to politics might shake up Tesla stock in the short term, right? And yes, there could definitely be some volatility there, but now there's this absolutely beautiful angle to the story that's got people talking all over social media, and I've got to share that with you guys because it changes the whole narrative. Here's the thing. It turns out that Charlie Kirk itself, the guy this guy whose memorial service brought Trump and Musk together was actually the secret pacemaker working behind the scenes to reconcile those two. I mean, how powerful is that? Even in his passing, his influence is still reshaping the political and business landscape. Talking about leaving a legacy that matters. From all the latest reports coming in, Charlie Kirk was absolutely passionate about healing the rift between Elon Musk and Trump. This wasn't just a casual interest. He really genuinely cared about bringing these two powerful powerhouses back together. Kirk knew both of them personally, had spent quality time with each of them, and throughout the summer he was actively openly advocating for them to make peace. Let me paint the picture for you. Back in June, right when things were at their worst between Elon Musk and Donald Trump, Kirk was on a podcast talking about how optimistic he was about a potential reunion. He literally said he would do whatever it took to make it happen. He called it potential peace treaty moment, where instead of fighting each other, they'd team up to tackle bigger challenges facing the country. This vision right there, and it wasn't just talk either. Kirk was actually texting Elon during their rough period, during the rough patch, giving him advice, trying to smooth things over, and apparently, Elon actually listened. Kirk had this massive respect for what Elon Musk did by buying Twitter, or X as we call it now. He saw it as this historic moment for free speech, and he literally compared it to the Louisiana Purchase. That's one of the most significant land deals in American history, and Kirk thought Elon's move was on that level of importance. That shows you just how much he admired what Elon Musk was trying to accomplish. Now, fast forward to yesterday's memorial service in Phoenix, and it's like Charlie's final wish came true right before our eyes. Elon and Trump end up sitting right next to each other, not across the room, not avoiding each other, but right next to each other. They're shaking hands, they're chatting, they're actually posing for photos together, and these images are absolutely exploding all over the internet. Here's what makes it even more emotional. One of Charlie Kirk's close team members posted a photo from the service with this caption that just hits you right in the heart. They said Charlie wanted this reunion so badly, and they hoped Trump and Musk were toasting to him, saying, "For Charlie, Like, imagine that this guy worked so hard to bring them together, and now at his own memorial, it's finally happening. And Elon, he refreshed that exact photo with the same caption for Charlie. He posted on the X. That's powerful stuff right here. Let me show you. For Charlie. Yeah, as you can see, posted by Elon Musk. He even quoted something about forgiveness after Kirk's wife gave her speech. You can tell this meant something real to him. Trump, being Trump, played it a bit cooler with reporters later, saying it was just a nice hello and quick conversation. But come on, we all know what this really represents. This is their first public appearance together since everything fell apart in June. People are calling it a full circle moment. That's a redemption art, and it's all because of Charlie Kirk's behind the scenes work to make it happen. He didn't want to see things spiral out of control. He was worried about scenarios like Elon potentially starting his own political party, which could split conservative votes and create total chaos. Instead, Kirk believed they'd be so much stronger together, united in pushing for conservative values and protecting free expression. Now, you might be wondering, why am I getting so emotional about this on a finance stream? Why does this matter for your portfolio? Well, let me tell you, because this is where the human element of investing comes into play, and it's something a lot of traditional finance courses just ignore. Here's the truth, beginners. So, for beginners, unity and collaboration between powerful, influential people can be an absolute game changer for your investments. When major figures like Elon Musk and President Trump align their interests and start working together instead of against each other, it sends ripples through entire market sections. Let's break it down in practical terms. Think about Tesla, ticker symbol TSLA, and really think about all of Elon's companies. They don't operate in a vacuum. They need government support, friendly regulations, and positive relationships with policymakers to thrive. Tesla benefits from EV tax credits and subsidies. SpaceX lives on government contracts worth billions. When the CEO of these companies and the President of the United States are on good terms, well, they are on the good terms, it seems like right now. That's a foundation for potential policy decisions that could massively benefit those businesses. If this renewed friendship leads to more pro-business policies like loosening some of the stricter regulations on electric vehicles or increasing federal funding for technological innovation and space exploration, Tesla stock could see some really nice upward movement. We're talking about a potential catalyst for growth that wouldn't exist if these two were still at each other's throats. Now, I know that some of you are thinking, but wait, did we just talk about how Elon getting involved in politics could be risky for Tesla? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. There's definitely a concern that deeper political involvement could distract him from running his companies, or it would trigger some customers who um, it could alienate some consumers who don't agree with his political positions. Some investors might get nervous and sell their shares because of these worries. But here's the key difference. This isn't Elon randomly jumping into controversial political fights or starting his own political party like some people feared. This is about having a constructive, productive relationship with the sitting president. That's actually positive for business. It means better access and better communication and potentially better outcomes for policies that affect his companies. The overall vibe this reconciliation is creating is generally injecting some positivity into the markets. When you look at broader indexes like Nasdaq, which is where most tech stocks trade, including Tesla, this kind of reduced political tension and increased cooperation trends. Cooperation tends to boost what we call investor sentiment. Remember, we mentioned this earlier. Sentiment is basically the collective gut feeling that investors have, and it drives so much of the buying and selling activity that determines stock prices. When sentiment is positive, people feel more confident, they're more willing to take risks, and they start buying stocks, which pushes prices up. When sentiment is negative, people get scared, they sell, and prices drop. We've actually seen this pattern play out before when major CEOs and policymakers who were previously at odds make peace and start collaborating. It often sparks market rallies. The fear and uncertainty evaporate, and investors can focus on growth opportunities instead of worrying about political drama creating obstacles. For those of you who are brand new to investing and just trying to wrap your heads around all of this, let me give you a simple analogy. Imagine you're at a big family reunion and there are two uncles who haven't spoken to each other in months because of some fight. Everyone's walking on eggshells. The atmosphere is tense. People are taking sides and it just makes everything uncomfortable, right? But then suddenly they hug it out. They shake hands. They laugh about old times and boom, the entire energy of the reunion transforms. People relax. They start having fun. Everyone feels like they can move forward instead of being stuck in past drama. That's basically what's happening here in the business and the political world. Less drama means more focus on actual growth, innovation, and opportunity. When powerful people stop fighting and start cooperating, it creates space for real progress. So, if you're thinking about investing in Tesla, here's what I'd suggest. Watch for any dips in the stock price as this news continues to settle and people process what it means. Sometimes there's an initial reaction where the price drops a bit. It doesn't matter, and that can actually be a buying opportunity if you believe in the company's long-term potential. Just don't go all in on one stock. Remember what we talked about with diversification. Diversification is really important. So, speaking of diversification, if you might want to look at ETFs, that's exchange traded funds, which are absolutely like buying a whole basket of stocks in one purchase. For example, there's something called the ARK Innovation ETF. Let me type it down. I mean, ARK Vision, which has heavily exposure to ARK Innovation ETF has heavy exposure to Tesla along with other innovative technology companies. It's run by this investor named Kathy Wood, who's super bullish on disruptive technologies. When you buy an ETF like that, you're spreading your risk across multiple companies instead of betting everything on just a Tesla. If one stock has a bad day, the others in the basket might be doing great, and it balances out. This is exactly why subscribing to this channel is so valuable. You get the stories behind the headlines, not just what happened, but why it matters and what you can do about it. I'm giving you actionable strategies to turn news events into smart investment moves without all the stress and confusion that usually comes with trying to navigate the markets. Guys, I've got to tell you, this story has me genuinely fired up. The idea that Charlie Kirk, even in his final chapter, pulled off this incredible feat of bringing two of the most powerful people in America back together, that's inspiring on a human level. It reminds us that finance and investing is not just about charts and numbers and the candles. Human connections, relationships, trust. These things drive markets just as much as quarterly earnings reports and economic data. The markets are about people making decisions based on their hopes, their fears, their relationships, and their beliefs about the future. Understanding that a human element is what separates okay investors from truly great ones. So here's what I want to know from all of you in the chat. Let me know in the chat what's your take on this. Could this reconciliation actually be the beginning of a Tesla turnaround? Are you feeling more bullish about tech stocks in general, knowing that there's less political tensions at the top? Or are you still cautious, wanting to see more concrete evidence before you make any moves? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now, and seriously, if you're not already subscribed, what are you waiting for? Hit that button. Thank you so much, guys. We're going to keep diving deep into the stories like this, connecting the dots between news and headlines and your investment strategy, making sure you're always ahead of the curve. Guys, we're absolutely on fire with this live stream today. The energy you all are bringing is incredible. Thank you for all the amazing questions and comments flooding in. If you're getting a real value from these deep dives into how politics shakes up the markets and what it means for your actual money, please do me a solid right now and smash that subscribe button. We're all about breaking down the US stocks in a way that makes sense for beginners. No boring textbooks, no confusing Wall Street speak, just a real conversations and practical tips to help you build wealth without all the stress and the overwhelm. Alright, so we've been riding this incredible wave talking about the Musk-Trump reunion and Charlie Kirk's amazing behind the scenes role in making it happen, right? Now let's switch gears a bit and get into the nitty-gritty of what's actually been happening with Tesla's stock price. Because here's the thing, all this political drama and a few good reconciliation stuff is fascinating, but at the end of the day, you need to know, what does this mean for TSLA stock specifically? When should I buy? When should I hold? When might I want to take profits or cut losses? This is where understanding the technical side becomes super valuable. And don't worry, I'm going to keep this as simple as possible. No complicated charts that looks like a spider webs, no professional jargon that makes your head spin. Think of this like checking the weather forecast before you take a road trip. You want to know what conditions you're heading into so you can plan accordingly, right? Same thing with stocks. Let's start with the big picture view of what Tesla stock has been doing lately. So last Friday, let me switch the chart to the daily chart. Just 1 second. So as of the close on Friday, September 19th, 2025, that's the most recent trading day we have data for. Heading into this weekend, Tesla wrapped up at $426.07, $426.07. That's up about 2.21%, which translates to gains of $9.22 from the previous day. Pretty solid. During Friday's trading session, the stock it opened at $421.97, climbed as high as $429.47, and dipped down to a low of $421.72. So you can see there was some movement throughout the day, but overall it was trending upward, and compared to the Thursday's closing price of $416.85, we're seeing nice momentum building here. Now here's what's really interesting. Over the past month, Tesla has absolutely been on a tear. We're talking about a climb of roughly 29.38%. That's almost a 30% increase just 1 month, folks. That kind of movement shows serious momentum building behind the stock. For those of you who are newer to investing, let me explain what momentum means in simple terms. Momentum is basically how fast and how strongly a stock price is moving in one direction. Imagine you're driving a car on the highway. At first you're going slow, but then you hit the gas and you start picking up speed, get faster and faster. That acceleration, that's momentum. Right now, Tesla has positive momentum, meaning it's picking up speed to the upside. This is what we call a bullish situation. That means there's optimism in the air. People are feeling good about the stock. People are feeling good about stock, and expectations are for even higher prices ahead. Especially with all this political reconciliation news potentially smoothing out regulatory challenges that Tesla might face with their electric vehicles and other technology initiatives, there's reason for optimism. Now let's talk about volume for a second, because this is really important. Volume is how many shares are actually changing hands, how many shares are being bought and sold on any given day. On Friday, we saw about 93 million shares traded, which is right around the average of 91.7 million shares per day. That steady, constant volume tells us something important. These price moves are backed up by real interest from investors, not just a hype or random speculation. Here's why that matters. If you see a stock price shooting up on super high volume, like double or triple the normal amount, that's usually a really strong signal that something significant is happening and the move has legs to continue. On the flip side, if you see a price move on really low volume, it might just be a temporary blip that doesn't mean much. The fact that Tesla's climbing on steady normal volume, that's actually pretty healthy. It suggests a sustainable interest rather than a frantic buying frenzy that might burn out quickly. That's, let's put this in context with the bigger picture. Over the past 52 weeks, that's one full year, Tesla has ranged from a low of $212.11 all the way up to a high of $488.54. Right now, sitting at what's the current price? Right now, it's sitting at $442.4. We're comfortably in the upper half of that range. That tells us the stock has recovered really nicely from any earlier dips and is showing strength. It's nowhere near those scary lows anymore, but it's also not quite at the peak yet, which means there could still be room to run higher. Now let's dive into what's called technical analysis. I know that sounds intimidating, but trust me, it's not that complicated once you break it down. Technical analysis is basically like reading the stock's body language through charts and mathematical indicators. Just like you can tell someone's mood by their facial expression and posture, you can get a sense of where a stock might be headed by looking at these technical signals. I'm going to walk you through different time frames from really short-term stuff that day traders use all the way up to longer-term views that are perfect for beginners like you and like some of you who might be planning to hold for weeks or months. Let's start with the 15-minute chart. This is super short-term stuff. The 15-minute chart. Great for catching quick swings if you're actively watching the market throughout the day. Right now, the indicators on this time frame are pointing to buy signals with positive momentum building. The stock is showing strength even on these tiny time frames. Now, there's this tool called RSI. RSI means the Relative Strength Index and is one of the most popular indicators out there. Think of it like a RSI, the Relative Strength Index indicator, think of it like a temperature gauge for a stock. It measures whether stock is overbought, means it's run up too fast and might need to cool off, or oversold, meaning it's being beaten down and might be a bargain. The scale goes from 0 to 100. Generally speaking, if RSI is above 70, we consider stock overbought. It's too hot, might need to take a breather. If it's below 30, we consider it oversold. It's been punished too much and might bounce back. Right now, Tesla's RSI on the daily chart On the daily chart, the RSI is sitting around 60. That's right in the sweet spot. It's in what we call buy territory, showing positive momentum without being overdone. And RSI above 50 generally means the bulls, optimistic buyers are in control, and Tesla's definitely showing that right now. Moving up to the 4-hour chart, this is a big longer term but still pretty active. We are seeing similar bullish signals. There's another indicator called the MACD indicator, which stands for moving average convergence divergence. I know that's a mouthful. Basically, what it does is track momentum by comparing different moving averages of the price. Think of MACD like spotting when a car is accelerating. Positive values suggest the uptrend is gaining strength, like you're pressing the gas pedal and the car is responding. That's what we're seeing with Tesla right now. The trend has lags and looks like it wants to continue. Let's talk about moving average for a second because they are super useful for beginners. A moving average is just the average price over a certain period of time, and it helps smooth out all the noise and show you the general direction. The 20-day The 20-day exponential moving average, which gives more weight to recent prices, is sitting at $370, around $370, with the recent price way up at $426. That's a strong buy signal. So let me explain. When a stock price is trading well above its moving averages, it's like the stock has a safety net underneath it, pushing it higher. It shows the overall trend is up, and there's support from buyers at those lower levels. And let's look at the daily chart. Looking at the daily chart, this is probably the most important one for most beginner investors. We are seeing some really interesting patterns emerging. Tesla has broken through what's called a rising trend line in the middle term. That's a technical way of saying it's pushed above the level where it had been bouncing off, and that could signal even stronger growth ahead. We're not seeing any major bearish patterns. Those are warning signs that the stock might be about to drop. Things like a head and shoulders pattern, which looks like 3 peaks where the middle one is highest, usually signals a potential downturn. But we're not seeing that with Tesla. Instead, we are seeing more of an upward channel, which is exactly what we want to see as an investor. Alright folks, what an incredible stream today. We covered so much ground, from that shocking post by Elon Musk about Charlie Kirk. Let me just show you. From Elon Musk's post about Charlie Kirk to the unexpected reconciliation between Elon Musk and President Donald Trump at the memorial service, to all the technical analysis on Tesla stock performance. I mean, we really dug deep into how all these moving pieces connect and what they mean for your investments. If you made it all the way through with me, first off, thank you. Seriously, your engagement, your questions in the chat, your energy, that's what makes this stream so special. We're not just talking about numbers on the screens here. We're talking about real strategies that can help you build real wealth over time. Now, if you haven't already hit that subscribe button, this is your last chance. Don't miss out on future streams where we're going to continue tracking this story. Trust me, the this Musk-Trump reunion is just the beginning. We're going to be watching how this plays out in the markets all weeks long, analyzing the technical signals and most importantly, helping you figure out the best moves for your portfolio. And hey, do me another favor. If you found value in today's stream, smash that like button and drop a comment below telling me what you thought. What's your biggest takeaway? Are you bullish on Tesla after everything we discussed? Are you planning to buy on a dip or are you taking a wait and see approach? I read every single comment and your feedback helps me make these streams even better for you. So before you go, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much, guys. And don't forget the golden rules we always preach here. Never invest more than you can afford to lose. Always diversify your portfolio and don't let emotions drive your decisions. Whether you're feeling FOMO, fear of missing out, or panic about potential losses, take a breath, stick to your strategy, and remember that smart investing is a marathon, not a sprint. I will be back with some streams this week tomorrow, breaking down all the latest developments. So make sure you're subscribed with notifications turned on. Hit the bell icon so you don't miss a single update. We're in this together, building wealth one smart decision at a time. Until next time, stay smart, stay profitable, and remember, the best investment you can make is in your own financial education. That's what we're doing here every single day. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for being part of this amazing community. And I will see you in the next stream. This is your host signing off. Keep greeting, keep learning, and let's make some money.